And good day. Welcome to Queenship Studios, and this is Bible study. Now, give me a second while I make a post and let people know that I'm live. And it's going to be a second. Thank you for your patience. I'm actually so excited for this Bible study today because we will be looking into Proverbs 31 woman. Proverbs 31 woman is one of my favorite scriptures. Now, if you're live with me, don't be shy, say hello. Let me know that you're with me. Okay. So I'd like to clear the space real quick. Then make a prayer, and then we'll hop right into this. Okay. Bismillah. Oh God. We join her today in your name. We come in her today without fret, without stress. Allowing new energy in. Allow me to speak for you. Allow me to be your voice. Allow me to be your vessel. Allow me to speak your word with clarity. Allow the session to be about you and only you, God. I am only a vessel. I am only an instrument in your will, following your will, your grace. Allow us to cleanse ourselves and shower ourselves with your words, with your grace. Breathe through me in universal love. Allow everyone in this space to feel you. Allow your will to be done through me. Allow everyone in this space to be blessed and receive the word, embody the word, and become. In God's name I pray. Bismillah. Ameen. Okay, so let's hop in. So, like I said, welcome to Queenship, where we guide those in the early stages of their spiritual walk to become women favored by God, growing in wisdom and grace. So, I started Bible study because I studied the Word, and I've realized that I I've realized that it is a saving grace. The Word to me is a faith protocol, and not a lot of people follow the Word maybe because of dogma or strict religious people, or some people who are, I guess, insufferable when it comes to following the will of God, which makes the religion impulsive, I mean repulsive. And nobody wants to be forced into something, and forced into anything. No matter if it's the greater good, force just makes it a little less attractive. Being forced to do something that you don't want to do, or you don't even know why you're doing it. But today we're talking about Proverbs 31 woman. And we're also going to be looking at the Quran, Surah Al-Ahzab, to understand how we can become women favored by God. Now, there's two different scriptures. Now, it's the Bible, but in one Bible, it has a different wording, and with the wording, there's a different context. Because in the New King James Version, copywritten in 2016, it starts off. Now this one has the subheadings are titled, and this one is entitled "The Virtuous Wife." So right off the back, she's called a wife. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. Right out the back, she is called a wife, but in New King James version, copywritten in 1975, she's not called a wife, she's just called a woman, which changes the context. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Now, price and worth, I did see the difference between price and worth. If I lower the price, say the price of gold a few years ago was, you can get, oh, I don't want to be wrong. Let's see, 1 ounce. So today, 1 ounce will be in the 2000 range. Say a few years ago, you can get 1 ounce of gold for $50. Now the worth of gold didn't change, but the price did. Why? Because the value of the dollar fluctuates. So the so because of the value of cash, because of the value of the dollar, the price of gold will change over time. A few years ago, it would cost less to buy an ounce of gold than it would now. But the worth of gold never changed. So in one Bible, it says, "For her price is far above rubies." And then the one that was copywritten in 2016, it says, "For her worth is far above rubies." No, that's different. The context in both of them is different. One identifies her as a wife before she becomes a wife. Before she's married, she's already identified as a wife, which is significant, which is a significant difference than calling her a woman, because we are recognizing her as a wife already before she's married. And then considering her worth far beyond rubies is a different context than saying her price is far beyond rubies, because that means she has a price. But saying her worth is far beyond rubies may put her under the umbrella of being priceless, because one, the context is still stating that she has a price. I just think that difference is significant. And I make sure to put Bible study just to let people know that this is Bible study. So when you come in live, you're not, I guess, turned off by the conversation. So I wanna read from the 2016 version. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from far. She also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and a portion of her maid servants. She considers a field. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. So this one actually lets you know that it's her profits, not her husband's. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was clear in the other Bible. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good. and her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff. Oh, the distaff. I guess that's another way of saying unemployed. And her hand holds the spindle. Oh, wait. She stretches her hands to the distaff. Oh, we haven't gotten to the pool yet. So this is still talking about that part of the spindle. She extends her hands to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hand to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes for the merchants. Oh, this one's more specific. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is passing. I like how it says passing and not vain. But a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So this is not a lame woman. What we get from this is that this is not a lame woman. She is not lazy. She doesn't make any excuses. She doesn't complain. She's very giving. She has good taste. She's well educated. She knows her stuff. Because not many people would think to buy land, and she must be able to manage her money and have knowledge on how to manage her money. Because this type of stuff doesn't just come easy, you have to learn about it. So she's well studied. What else can we gather from Proverbs 31 woman? Now I know there's a lot of women of the book, we're gonna get to them. But this is the most renowned woman. This is the one that's most spoken about. The virtuous woman. What do you consider virtue? A lot of people go straight to sexuality. But I don't like to judge women based off of their sexuality. You never know their background. You never know their background. I worked for a woman whose mother was a prostitute. And she was my boss. Not the mother, but the woman whose mother was a prostitute was my boss. And she may have had a rough beginning, but she wasn't taught any. She wasn't taught how to vet. She may not have been taught how to prioritize her attention and her focus and her money. One minute. No, anybody who comes live, they'll be able to have access to my website. I really appreciate those who are live with me. I'm just taking a moment to do some administration. Okay. So I do like to compare because there are significant differences in both texts. Both the Bible, both New King James Version, are very different. But what I want to discuss is the fact that some people don't believe they can achieve the characteristics of Proverbs woman 31. For one, this is quite outdated. So a lot of things in here, if you was to attempt to do these yourself, it would be very unnecessary. You don't have to walk far to get certain material. You can order it. You can get it directly shipped to your house. You can call Uber or whatnot. You can, and then she has maids, and which is also a significant, which is interesting. Maybe she didn't think to get the maids to do it for her, or she wasn't shy when it came to work, so she didn't even she most likely didn't even consider for somebody else to go all that way to do something that, because she was making clothes. She went all that way to get resources to make clothes. And not just anything. In this one, they both say wool and flax. She got wool and flax. These are quality elements. These are quality material to make quality fabric. Wool. If you want to get an idea of wool, think of Coco Chanel. Her outfits are made out of wool. Her clothes are made out of wool. And flax is a very thick type of fabric. I saw a photo where they make blazers. They made blazers out of flax thread, and she threads them herself. But you can go to somebody who does this. You don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to follow this to a T. Apply what matters. Apply what best fits you as a woman. You can be a virtuous woman and not follow this to a T. That's not the point of the text. She follows the will of God, and that's why she's favored by God. She's she's well studied. She's diligent. She's devoted to her husband. She's loyal. She's faithful. She's highly respected. That means she's respectable. That means she must respect herself in order to get respect back. She works. She's not idle-minded. She's not lame. Idle minds is a devil's workshop. That means idle mind. What is an idle mind? Somebody who's easily distracted. Somebody who's constantly distracted. Somebody who fills the mind with trivial, petty things. So typically people who consume drama, gossip, who backbite, who do senseless things, who are reckless. She was none of this. As you see in the text, it's clear that she thinks ahead. It's clear that she works on herself because it also says that she's strong. That means she works out. Then it says that she bought land with her profits. That means she's making money. She's making her own bread. How do you become a virtuous woman? What do you love to do? At the core, who are you? When you was a kid, when you was 5, let's say imagine you was 5 years old. Who were you when you was that 5-year old, and or who did you want to become? What do you love doing? What are you good at doing? What are you good at doing, and and can you make money from it? Because passion is a driving force. You don't want to be lame. These days, the modern days, Proverbs 31 woman is a lamb. She is considered a lamb. But by definition, a lamb is a lazy woman who has nothing to celebrate. You have to find your purpose. Gardening may not be a purpose. Making clothes may not be a purpose. It may not be what's meant for you to do in this lifetime. What gives you joy? What brings you joy? You have to ask yourself these things. You have to know yourself. Get to know yourself. Do a deep dive in your interest. Get interested in yourself and do that. And don't be shy when it comes to giving. But one thing that I want to bring up that's not in her, there's even a woman who got punished for this very thing, this very characteristic trait that's not being spoken about when it comes to Proverbs 31 woman. Boundaries. Because it's good to be given. What's not good is to be overly given to people who don't deserve it. What's not good is to be a pushover. What's not good is to be used by people. When you don't set boundaries, it's clear that she has standards. But what's not clear is that she has boundaries. Does she? It's not clear in this text. It doesn't say she gave her last dollar or she gave up her last meal. It does it say it does say that she takes care of herself because it says that she's strong. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. And then she makes clothes for herself. Quality fabric, using quality fabric. She drapes herself in quality fabric. She may love to study. You may not be the type that can sit down and read a book and study. You may be the type that needs to go out and do things hands on. You may be a Proverbs 31 woman, but Proverbs 31 woman looks different on you. It looks different when you do it because you're different. We're all not the same. If if I was Proverbs 31 woman, I wouldn't be making my own fabric. I would be painting a mural or something. Because art is my strength. Art is my purpose. Art is the direction that God called me to go on. That's my God given purpose. I'm gonna go in the direction that God called me to go down. You gotta listen to God. You gotta follow the will of God. This, this right here, this is just a description of how this woman followed the will of God. This is what God called her to do. This is a description of what God called her to do. What did God call you to do? What's your calling? Don't worry about the spindle and all this other stuff. Don't worry about that. They have factors for that. You can make something and sell it to merchants. It's called a commission. You can earn a commission. What what can you do? What can you make? Well, how could you make use of your God's time? How could you make use of your borrowed time and earn a profit off of it? How could you earn an honest living? How would serving God look like to you? You may not like wool. You may be allergic to wool. You might like polyester or something. or silk. But this one it says linen, and the other one it says silk. She draped herself in silk. Quality. Have some class. Cleanse your palate. When you step outside, you represent your family, you represent your household, not just you. They said her children and her husband said that she was blessed. Her husband was proud of her. He honored her and cherished her. That means who you are with is your responsibility and his responsibility. Who he ends up with is his responsibility. Who you end up with is your responsibility. It takes two to unite. You both have to make the decision to be together. You don't have to be with somebody who don't respect you, who don't honor you, who don't appreciate that you are Proverbs 31 woman. Right package, wrong location. You could be a Proverbs 31 woman, you're just at the wrong house. You're not with a husband, you're with a boyfriend. Because, like we said, she was a wife before she got married. That means you have to find a husband. You're not looking for a boyfriend, and you're not growing to become husband and wife together. You're looking for a husband, and he's looking for a wife. You're not looking for potential. You're looking for the person who's already there. They have to bring out the potential in them. You have to bring out the potential in yourself. You are both responsible for yourself. You are both responsible for your own elevation and growth. Don't leave that to nobody else. Because when you leave your growth and your elevation to somebody else, you leave yourself at risk of being taken advantage of. And then you might end up with a bum. Proverb 31 woman don't deserve to be with a bum. She's got too much going on for herself. She needs a supporter. She needs somebody who's as equally respectable. Because it says her. Her husband is known in the gates. And he sits among the elders of the land. At first, I saw that as heaven's gates. There's known in heaven's gates. Both of them are known in heaven's gates. And then I like how it says he trusts her with his heart. If you are a liar, if you are deceitful, if you are manipulative, do you think you're trustworthy enough for somebody to be vulnerable with you? To trust you with their heart? The children? No. I can't trust you with a single thought. Sometimes you'll give somebody a thought, they'll take it as the end and not give you credit for it. Might even try to steal your reputation. I can't even trust you with a thought, let alone my children, let alone learn my legacy, my reputation. I can't trust you with my reputation. You're of the world. Which brings us into Surah Al-Ahzab that talks about the worldly woman. O prophet, say to the consort, if it be that ye desire the life of this world and its glitter, then come, I will provide for you enjoyment and set you free in a handsome manner. But if ye seek Allah, if ye seek God and his messenger and the home of the hereafter, verily Allah has prepared for the well-doers among you a great reward. O consort of the Prophet, wife of the Prophet, if any of you were guilty of evident, unseemly conduct, like adultery, lying, stealing, being disobedient in some way, shape, or form, being neglectful, indulging in vices, the punishment will be doubled to her, and that is easy to Allah. The Prophet's household is not for worldly ends. His consort have a place and dignity beyond ordinary women. They must recite and proclaim the signs of Allah, for women have spiritual virtues and duties like unto men. Allah decrees no unhappy wedlock. Fear not to dissolve such and provide what is right and fitting for the service of Allah. High is the Prophet's position, and he must order his household as best befit his work and duties. Allah doth watch all things. You heard that? God don't even want you to be with a worldly woman. God don't want a man, a good man, a godly man to be with a worldly woman. It says, give her glitter, give her glitz and glam, give her glitter and gold, and then let her go. And find you a good woman. Find you a woman. Find you a wife. And leave the girls alone. And it says when you find out this is what she's about. Because some women will lie, deceive, and act like they're the woman meant for you, and then down the line you find out who they truly are. Because it takes a lot of energy to be fake. It's exhausting to be fake. Your true colors will eventually reveal themselves. And once you find out that your wife or your girlfriend is for, nowadays we call it for the streets, but in the Quran it says worldly woman. When you were for the world, when you were of the world, let them go and find you somebody worthy of you. This one's for the man. Find somebody who's worthy of you. You too are pure and precious and should be treated as such. It says, now this is about the prophet's wife, but this could be to any husband who has a greater purpose beyond any normal individual. His household is not for worldly ends. You got means to an end. So if you work a whole lot just to have a whole bunch of stuff, that's a worldly end. I want a car collection just so that, just because his got 5 cars, so I need 6. His house is 2 stories, so I need 3. I want to be rich so I can get all these baddies. Or, oh, I need to be as beautiful as possible so I can get flown out and free food or whatever. Oh, I need a lot of money so I can go out every weekend and I can have a closet full of clothes, or whatever the case may be. That's a means to an end. You work, you earn all this money so that you can have frivolous things, so that you can have possessions. Oh, I want to possess more things. I want to have control. I want to have power. That's a worldly end, a means to an end. That's why you have to question why people do things. Like, say, by sight, these people are doing charity. The means is to do charity, but the ends is reputation. Or you want people to see you as a given person so that you can, so that they can trust you, so that they can trust you, uh, so that you can get money out of them. That's not a godly end. That's ill intentions. You're doing a good deed with ill intentions. This household, we don't do that in this house. We don't do that in this house. His wife have a place and dignity beyond ordinary women. She has to uphold a certain standard for herself. She has to be of piety. She has to be a godly woman. She has to be chaste. And chaste doesn't necessarily mean a virgin. Chaste just means that you're not touching, you're not even worrying about that. You're not worrying about opening yourself up to new people casually. You're not worrying about, like, yeah, casual relationships. You're not worrying about that because you have a greater purpose. You got to put your head down and make some sacrifices. And what it sounds like is that a godly woman is a woman who puts herself first, a woman who has integrity, a woman who has dignity. This doesn't take much. All this is free. A shift in mindset. What did we talk about? Integrity. We talked about dignity. We talked about devotion. We talked about diligence. She seems educated. She invests in herself. She invests in her health and her fitness and also her feminist health. She is considered about her appearance, her public appearance. She thinks ahead. She made sure that her family was prepared for the winter days and nights. She's an investor. She bought land and she knew what to do with it. She's worth more than rubies because she can make more than rubies cost. If the decisions that she makes, she also makes good decisions. She has good intentions. She gives to the needy and the poor. She's not a lame woman. She's not lazy. She works. It doesn't say she has a job. It says she works. She makes her own clothes and then gives them to merchants. It says that she takes care of her household. She wakes up early before her husband because he works as well. It says that he doesn't need to spoil her. It never said that he can't or he won't. He doesn't need to. That means she made a good decision of who she ends up with. Who she ended up with. She's a smart woman. And then how would I forget? She was hard to find. Who? I start yelling when I get into this. Who can find a virtuous woman? You gotta find this woman. She's not easy to find. You gotta find this woman. Where can you find a virtuous woman? What do we know about her? She works. She's well studied. She makes her own clothes. She makes a profit by selling to merchants, by making commission. She's got skill. She's talented. She probably got her own store. She seems like she's got an entrepreneurial spirit. It says nothing about a job. She takes care of herself. You might find her in the gym. You might find her in a health shop. You might find her buying material. You might find her looking for gold, going to the jewelry shop. Investing in gold. You may even find her in the financial section in the library, looking up financial books to make her next investment. She brings food from afar. And this is what I mean. Modern days, that may just mean you get cheese shipped from France and you live in America or something. Or Italy. Because you like the cheese is more quality. The cheese is higher quality, so you get cheese shipped from Italy or something. Or you get a fabric shipped from Italy. It doesn't mean that you have to walk a great distance. It just may mean that you need to do a little bit of homework to find out who has the best of what. The best of the best. You're focused on quality, not quantity, or both quality and quantity, because she is a woman of abundance. It didn't seem like she was playing it safe or playing it small. She bought land, put a vineyard in it, planted some seeds, cultivated herself a vineyard. You know what you can do with a vineyard? You know how many generations will be secure, financially secure, with that one decision that she made? And then she can expand it and then build a factory. She already makes clothes. She already bought a plot of land. And that plot of land could generate enough money to pay off the factory. Who knows what she would do? It looks like she makes good decisions. It looks like she makes great decisions with the end in mind. a woman of abundance, a woman who has dignity and self-respect, a woman who positions herself for success. It sounds like she has all the control in her life. Her husband, it don't seem like her husband interferes with her decision making. His pride of her, his pride. That where is it? Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. He cherishes her. He praises her. He thinks she's blessed. He may help her out in a way. Considering this portion of the Bible is all about her. But it seems like she's independent in that sense. Just because she's independent doesn't mean she doesn't need a man. Now I want to close this up. Today, we looked at Proverbs 31 woman and Surah Al-Ahzab to discuss how to cultivate Proverbs 31 woman to complement who you are, to embody Proverbs 31 woman, to answer the call, to follow your God-given purpose. You don't have to be Proverbs 31 woman to a T. You have to be authentic. You have to be pure at heart. You have to be selfless. You can be selfish because you need to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, how would you have the energy to take care of others? You have to be mindful, considerate of others, giving with boundaries, what you allow, what you don't allow, what you're not having, what you accept and what you don't accept. When it's time to say no, you don't have to be rude about it, but you do have to be stern and fair. Know when you've had enough. Because if you give up too much of yourself and you're not getting the energy back, if that energy is not being reciprocated, you may burn yourself out. And what use are you then? You gotta prioritize yourself. You gotta respect yourself. You gotta love yourself. You gotta have some self-dignity. You gotta be dignified, a dignified woman, devoted. Spiritually ambitious. Pick up your Bible. Read the word. And you can pick up any sacred book. They will all accomplish one thing or another. It's gonna accomplish something. It's gonna, no matter what sacred book you pick up, you're gonna accomplish spiritual enlightenment. It doesn't matter. And there's so many other women to follow to give you guidance. It's already written. The answers that you're looking for are already written. I don't know what rule book we're abiding by these days. It's very disappointing. And depending on how far removed you are, it's very sickening to see how far removed we are from God's grace. Today we went through on how to gain God's favor, how to gain divine favor by inviting God's grace into your life. Because God calls everybody, but not everybody picks up. You have to align yourself with your true purpose. Now, ladies, let me know, how does aligning with these values bring you closer to God's favor? In what way do we live out the virtues of Proverbs 31 woman in our lives? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be seeing you guys later. This afternoon. I'll be catching you guys later this afternoon. Peace.